Oh man, this blade. Oh, it's a heartbreaker. It is a heartbreaker. There are so many attributes that are just stunning and gorgeous in its design features and nuances. But there's just one thing that just totally left me hanging. And I'm talking about the KENIVES Press Check. What's up, everybody? I'm Aaron. Welcome back to another blade review here at Gideon's Tactical. Now, this design is brought to us, I believe, by Alan Elshowitz. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm gonna make sure. Elshowitz, there we go. Alan Elshowitz, you may know him as one of the premier knife designers for Hogue. Brought us the EX series way back. I still love these blades, very unique. Got that right there on the blade. Now, there are two blade shapes. I have the recurved Tanto. There is a more natural drop point, just normal belly. So there are two versions out there with lots of different handle patterns. And let's hit all of these just like amazing hooks. They're just beautiful. And then that one heartbreaking moment that I'll lay on you here a little bit later. Right out of the gate, we're looking at titanium handle inlays with G10 and 20 CV steel. Now, the blade itself is an 1/8 of an inch thick, just over 3 inches, like 3.1 inches. So very compact, if you will. No, I wouldn't say very compact. It's right in that like more compact size, I would say. So in this variation, we're getting that recurve on a flat grind and then into a secondary tip grind there, both being flat grinds. Wide, but still rounded, you know, so it's not really like a true Tanto, I would say. It definitely has a little bit of belly there, even at that tip. Good, robust tip. So just a real, if you like really unique blade profiles, particularly in this model, you're gonna love it. And even if you just want more of an organic blade shape, they have that too. And then we have this great like Barracuda swedge back here into that fuller that goes the majority of the blade length down. That fuller is on either side, and you can, I use my middle finger there, get that thing flicked out. So, I mean, super cool. So that on 20 CV steel, it's going to have really good edge retention, rust resistance. You got that black finish on it, very nicely done. And with the recurve particularly, you're gonna get great acceleration and sweeping when you're doing cardboard cutting, rope cutting, those type of activities. I know that is somewhat intimidating for recurves sometimes for people to resharpen. I've found if you have either diamond rods and stones that are rounded circular rods and then ceramic rods, that is the easiest way that I have found personally to hone and tune up and maintain recurves. So that's what I've always found. We have a nice resharpening ricasso right there. So very cool. And if you go with the more organic, just natural drop point, it's a very functional, very cool looking blade shape. Now, before we hit this wild lockup and handle, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is LA Police Gear. Now, they've been giving us access to tons of excellent brands for over 20 years. But you may not be aware that they are a direct supplier of Danner boots and footwear, and they've recently gotten a large influx of styles and designs for both men and women. And so I recently picked up a pair of their Free Spirit Monk's Robe hiking boots, and my wife scored a pair of their Inquire Chukka boots, and they have been our constant companions as we've been exploring the Rocky Mountains this fall. And with plenty of designs to choose from their trail runners to more casual designs, hiking boots, and hunting boots, you'll be able to find the right style for your next adventure. My exclusive 10% off promo code that you can apply site-wide. It's a match made in gear lover heaven. So hop on over and check out all they got to offer. Now we go right into the action. So it's running on ball bearings. Got a flipper, or again, as you just saw, that little notch. The flipper, and I'm not talking about the dolphin that would rescue you in an emergency. That flipper, look at that, it looks like a fin. I mean, the attention to detail, these little grind angles, machining, rounding, I mean, so freaking cool. Little hit of jimping right there, plenty of real estate, but not being like obnoxious. So you just engage that and boom. I mean, it's just gonna fly right out on those ball bearings. Boom. Each time. It's not like a drop close. You know, you definitely have to kind of like wiggle it closed a couple times. Great detent, like sucks it in. You feel it. I'm not gonna accidentally swing it open. Lock up on this frame lock, rock solid, baby. That is in combination with the lock bar, but also with that nice stop bar right there. That's a pretty good size stop bar. I'm pleased with that. Really good looking stop bar right there. And then clicks into place. We're looking at about, I'll say 30% engagement on the back there. Really good. So it's a titanium frame lock inlaid over the G10. Just look at that. Wild. And then it does still have a stainless steel plate up against the spine. You know, so it's not going to give you that weird gritty feeling titanium on steel will tend to do. So that alone, I mean, there's just like 3 moving aspects here with that design. Now, one thing I did notice every once in a while is that because of that little pocket right there of the G10 scale over, it's not, I guess it's like a sub frame lock. I think Kershaw's called it that when they've done similar things. So that's what I'm going to call it maybe. I've pinched my skin in there a couple times, not painfully, but like I'm closing it and I'm like, why isn't this? Oh, it's my skin, and I can feel just like ever so slightly the tag of my skin getting pulled out when I'm closing the blade. So just a little nuance there. G10 handle scales, again, lots of color, and then the bolster up here is the titanium as well with the WE logo. Good pivot action there on the other side. And that's where I see this other just beautifully done, like non-lethal striker. That's a titanium back spacer right there. Rounded, machined, and then cut in for the tip of the blade. So it's not gonna be, you know, exposed in any way. I couldn't grab it if I wanted to, but it's like cut in and cocoons that tip just so well. So, I mean, they just did an excellent job with that. And you can just see the artistry, the artistic features that are going all over the place. And because of the titanium in G10, we're looking at like 3.8 ounces, so lightweight for this style of a tool. You know, anything under 4 ounces to me is, I would argue in this day and age, a lightweight knife, and being able to give us titanium and G10 and all these features and kind of a, you know, it's an 1/8 of an inch thick, but beefy blade to me. It's not like this really thin Lilliputian blade. It's got a lot going on with it. That's really good to see. And then like 0.48 on the thickness. And the pocket clip, ambidextrous, blacked out on this version. You got the little cut-ins with the extra screws, recessed screws when you line it all up. Excellently done. And then you do have kind of a crazy flare. I've seen this now a lot on like Civivis and Wiis. They need to do a little bit to dial down this. I mean, I can bend it down, but it'd been nice to have that, you know, just like brought down a little bit. So up to this point, I mean, we are banging on all cylinders. I mean, it's humming. I'm loving carrying it. I'm loving deploying it. This is a really wicked profile. I mean, I wanted this blade. WE Knives hooked me up with this tool because I was like, dude, that looks sick. When I saw it, I was like, I want to try that thing out. They were willing to send the sample over to me. I will have links in the description below. If after the heartbreaking moment I'm about to highlight, you still want to give this one a shot, or just when it comes time for gear purchases in general, always appreciate it when you use those hyperlinks included below. Here's the problem. The handle is 4.4 inches, and a lot of that real estate is eaten up here near the front. And in combination with the tapering back end and that pocket clip, I am almost coming off the back end. My pinky is not fully engaging. It's like this handle is hiding in there, and because of the placement, the type of flaring and rounding that the pocket clip is doing, it creates a big hot spot. So I feel like I'm losing grip on the back end of this tool in combination with a hot spot right there, whereas if it was a longer handle, I would be bypassing that flare right there of the pocket clip. I would be bypassing that if the handle was, say, 1/2 inch longer, and then I would only be encountering that flare, which I could then bend down. The way this is, and because of where it is, it's all this pressure, and I'm gripping for my life on the back end and giving me enough grip. It just becomes this big hot spot, and I feel like the handle is too small. The handle is too small. It's too short. And it tapers just a little too much for my large size hands. Now, I gave it to my wife, who has like medium women's, you know, size hands is what she has for like gloves and stuff. She gets like a women's medium, and it fit fine. She was like, I don't feel any of the hot spots, and I got plenty of grip on it. But for me, so if you are a dude watching, which is like 96% of you or something like that, you know, if you have small and medium sized hands, it'll probably work out for you. But if I wear large, if you have large, extra large, this would be a cautionary tale. And I just wish, like come out, I guess, with an extra large version. I don't know what else to say. Come out with a 4-inch version, extend that handle, and this would be like so, I mean, the lockup is so solid. There's like no play, which you normally get with bearings. I love all the little details and all cut-ins, and the materials are there, but to me, it's just too small to love carrying and just use. I'm just like, yeah, it's not for me. It's not for me. It's not for me, which is really sad because there's a lot of potential here and just a gorgeous design. So it's a heartbreaking tale for me on the press check from WE Knives, but I look forward to hearing from you guys, your thoughts, your comments. You let me know, particularly if you own one, how it's been holding up for you and just like how it fits for you. And I always appreciate you guys coming over week in, week out, checking out the videos, and check out the other video popping up and subscribe if you haven't yet. And until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.